All right, I want to talk about the biggest psyop ever, and that's to multitask. Multitasking is the biggest psyop that anyone's ever done, and it's super huge right now. You know, you want to have the GF and all these, you want to become a body of Hercules. You just got to have all this stuff, right? I think it's the biggest psyop, but it's okay because we've all been kind of pushed in some weird directions in the last couple years, right? So give yourself a little bit of benefit of the doubt when you're watching this. Oh, my boy's right. My boy Elliot, he's so right for talking about this. Yeah, of course I'm right. You know, but this applies for me too. Let me give you an example. Last year when I was trading, doing other kind of business ventures, right, I was making a shit ton of money and I kind of dropped the ball a little bit only because I wanted to expand it to something else. You know, you've seen some of my little artistic flair that's on some of these videos, and I'm kind of cutting that back right now because the thing is it doesn't matter. I'm trying to do too much at once myself. What is my one goal? My one goal is to take my Interactive Brokers, trading account. I'm trying to go to 6-7 digits, and this is going to be ongoing for the rest of my life. Okay? Because buying investments and then working for somebody and doing all these things is I have to keep starting and keep stopping, keep starting and keep stopping. So all that stuff is noise in the background. I'm focusing on one thing. And it's allowing me to be able to really focus and journal and write about it. Okay? Get off the plantation of the constant attention for all this stuff that is really weird and unimportant. Yeah, I see some news because of it really pertains to trading, but I pay for data on Interactive Brokers, not looking at fucking Twitter all day. It's the biggest psyop though. Because here's the thing though too, I'll tell you, so say if you're 22 and you want to be a painter or you want to be a videographer or whatever, probably your best point is to focus all of your energy on it. Or maybe reevaluate what that one thing is. Because I know it's weird out here. I was reading about a guy who made sushi. He's 99. There's 2 points on this. First, he's 99. He's still making sushi. So obviously, purpose has something to do with longevity. Right? Because a person who really, struggles with some substance abuse issues a little bit, I think that's a key point to mention, right? Secondly, though, the guy doesn't break his own little rules. I could probably link it in the comments or something, but I'm just kind of talking off the cuff, though. But he's not concerned about other stuff. And maybe this message isn't for everybody. I mean, it just makes me reevaluate my relationships and stuff. See, that's another thing, too. So last year, I made a ton of money trading. I lost a lot because I took on too much. I bought 2 art studios. What was I thinking? Right? Mistake. It's cool. Then earlier this year, I got a girlfriend who I spent way too much money on and way too much time on. Your boy should have been doing other shit. But it's fine. At least I can sit back and have that lesson for you, if you're watching this, that focus on that one thing. If you're the kind of person who, like me, who gets really obsessive about something, but then also has a wider imagination, snip that shit, bro. Snip that shit, bro. Your whatever your goal is, it needs to be one goal. One goal, right? Everything else that's not attached to that goal has to be snipped. Not this and that. Right? Get that one thing. Make that one thing work. Go against the grain of everyone telling you to multitask with their courses. Stop trying to get a perfect body if you're trying to hunt elk or whatever. people sell you that because they're trying to sell you shit. They're not actually, they don't want you to get to like your goal or whatever. You know, that's why I say for myself, and because it's wild. Like, I even think about, because and I'm like posting to Instagram and posting YouTube. And I think I'm still going to post to YouTube, but in this format that's like really easy to do, right? I don't want to go overboard on the editing. I learned a ton about editing, but the thing is though, is like if I'm trading and I'm working on all these things, there's no way I can compete on the scale of actual YouTubers who are putting a ton of effort and time and things like that into it. I just, but like, other people would tell you, like people will gas you up and tell you to do all these things and all these dreams. And I'm not here to gas you up. I'm telling you the opposite. I'm telling you, you need to cut ties with a lot of things if you want to live a purposeful life that is involved with stuff. Some people's whole thing is a relationship though. Like, the relationship with their girlfriend is like the most important thing in their lives. And because of certain events, I will never feel that way ever again in my entire life. I don't think so. But I hope you saw the last video too. That think about your phone. If you have that one goal, why would you be on your phone so much? And it's like, are you sure that it has to do with being on your phone? Hopefully it isn't to be influencer, but it's something to think about. Part of myself making these videos too, it's a meditative process. Maybe someday I'll release some more insights on trading that I have been thinking about, right? And I think they should be kind of presented in information, but that's my edge. So it kind of doesn't make any sense to share that stuff. Like, people are like trying to sell courses or in the chat rooms. It's like, bro, I need everyone to shut the fuck up so I can concentrate on my asymmetric bets. I think also too, if you don't focus on just one thing, doesn't mean leaving everything behind and put yourself in a destitute situation, but you're like leaving yourself the option to have fallback plans. But I think that's different than like that physically, and then that mentally. I'll give you an example. Travis Barker allegedly tattooed his neck, so he would have to be a musician. Okay, but he still could have worked at a fucking bar and like had a fucking decent life. So it's not like it was all or nothing or whatever, and lived in California. But still, it's something to think about. Like, if you have too many things on the table, then you kind of are psychologically telling yourself you can do other things. And I think even with my own goals, right? Like, even with my own goals, I think that I sabotaged myself a little bit in the last couple of years. I've had some dicey last couple of years, some really weird things, being a dad and like raising my kid by myself, and then like also my art interest and getting out of art school and stuff like that. But what I can tell you is that pretty much it doesn't come down to the substance use or whatever, maybe a little bit of the relationships. What it really comes down to is like to focus on the one thing. Like, the focus on the one thing is the most important part. Now I can kind of see how people can use other things for like networking, if like that's their goals, like business, and like they have to network and become that top guy. Like, yeah, I get it. But like, for me, unless it directly focuses pretty much on trading, or is it even trading adjacent, I want to come back to these videos and be like, oh yeah, you did crush it. You did crush it. And all that time was so worth it. It was so well spent. There is too not everyone's meant to be a master of something though. That's what I said. Worship your girlfriend. Worship your wife. Worship your kids. If that is like what you're gonna do, right? But when it comes to me, is what I kind of been thinking about is I want a certain life that is extremely adjacent, close to mastery, right? So I don't know how much more I will post on this channel. I think the communities around what I like are really, really cringe. Like, I hate the fonts, I hate the way they look, I hate the way the apps look like. It looks like you're buying like girl food. Like, what? No, this stuff's supposed to be like the coolest stuff. Not supposed to look like Robinhood app looks like Kava. Like, ew. Get out of here. How much did you journal today? How much did you do all that stuff today? You should be able to relate this lesson to like all kinds of different stuff that people have going on. Like I said, this is me downgrading the quality of my content because like I gotta focus on that one goal. Like, that one goal should be everything, you know? Like, you should wake up in the morning and have like a process, like a meditation process or something to make these things happen. You know, like, I won't say who. I know someone in my life who like just got married this year. They have all these hobbies and they're running around and like they have work, and it's like, damn, dude, that's a lot. How can you be that good at anything if you're doing that much? And like, I look back how I spent earlier this year, where again I was like trying to like hanging out with my girlfriend like every other weekend for a couple days when I had all the stuff on my plate. I was a single parent and I was trying to trade and I had a full-time job, and it's like, my guy, you're leaving yourself too vulnerable to the universe, my friend. So that's another thing that I've been thinking about, is how vulnerable I am to the universe, or how, because like there's always like little lessons, like the world being energy, right? And like things are gravitated towards like money and things like that, or like opportunities are 100% gravitated towards people with like a certain energy about them, a certain energy, right? If you spread yourself so thin like that, you're not going to have that certain energy unless, you know, your top G goal is like being a playboy of sorts. Then I guess you can figure it out. You know, even right now, if I were to like say, I was like, oh, I'm going to make this like what I used to do during these sessions, I would have this free time here. It's like hit the gym and do all this crazy stuff. It's like, I'm actually kind of convinced it's not even that important right now. It is important to exercise. Like, so on Saturdays I have free time, but right now the most important thing to me is trading. And I miss it. You know, it took me a long while to get back here to be able to do it a little bit again. You know, that's the other thing too. Sometimes you may not even be able to do that thing that you want to do right now. And you have to kind of sit in purgatory a little bit. Kind of like wait it out. Secondly, enough about this topic. Now back to the phone thing. Because I think it's secondary to people who have goals. If you are a person of goals, you have a goal, or mastery is in your kind of thing you want to do, you gotta get rid of the phone. If it's inside the phone of what you want to do, you gotta figure out a way to get out of the phone. Nobody's writing a best-selling novel on their phone. Some people are making clickbait on their phones for videos, but they're not making a masterpiece on their phone. They are not using, super good ISO on their phone to make things, right? So you gotta put down the phone. Focus on one thing, put down the phone. I don't even think it's that much more complicated in 2025, to be quite honest. I think that we have overcomplicated things so much that everyone is so like, dude, everyone lost their shit. And if you can do those two things, you're gonna win. No matter what it is. I think all goals can actually be kind of broken down into like some pretty general rules. Like, what I'm saying applies to everyone who has goals. Future star athletes, future movie directors, and it's okay if you don't have a goal yet. Actually, ironically, you'll probably find the goal if you put down the phone. If you put down the phone, the chances of you having a goal that you want to master within a few months, I would say the probability is 100%. But how can you find a goal if you're constantly looking vicariously at other people's dreams and experiences? Does that make sense? Like, how can you do that? How can you get actual good ideas in like an edge in the market? Right? I'll use the analogy edge. So if I had an idea of how I was going to make money in, say, some stock situation, other than like other people possibly adding more money into the pool, but in reality, 99% of the time, you don't want to give away your edge or tell people how you came across this. Because once everyone starts doing it, the market makers know what's going on. So play it close to the chest. I think documenting the process is interesting, though, but don't overdo it. There's a theme right now in kind of like cinematic YouTube videos. I think they're too cinematic. Somebody's been giving away the formula for their market edge when it comes to that stuff. Or using ChatGPT, right? But like, I was online this week. Unfortunately, I was online, and I just was seeing all these posts that were just like way too polished, but nothing was being talked about. So it's kind of like normal format. So I personally think we're getting back to some more grit vibes is what I want to see. Like, I want to see vibes where people have unpolished videos that kind of resonate with me, right? Like, almost really well edited videos have an uncanny valley aspect to them. So I'm trying to see who's gonna post some videos that are not high quality. I still might throw some in there, and I think the idea is, it's interesting, right? Because it's just another thing in your back pocket, a tool. But I don't know if it plays into mastery or not. Like, I want to see somebody recording with, I think the GoPro is kind of my favorite camera because they went not bankrupt, but they just pretty much lost all like their street cred, in a lot of ways. Everyone's into Sony and all these other cameras that are so expensive, and I think it's pretty funny to use a tiny little camera. It just fits in my backpack or whatever. I can carry it around. Because that's another thing too. With my mastery of my life, the biggest things I need is my laptop, some good ass IBKR hardware, some options data, and some good charts. Right? I don't even need a phone. I just carry around my little books that I read and my little notebooks that I do. So like a cinematic camera, while I do have them, because I bought them from making money, in trading. But again, it's expansion too quick. It's like, slow your roll, bro. I think the idea of people documenting the daily process has to be a dead funnel at some point. I think the cinematic daily journey is replacing the journey of the daily vlog, but like that has to go too, because it's just like you're mastering like loving yourself, which I guess is good, but like again, it's just like you just like film yourself all the time. It's like you're not that interesting. Why can't you get out of your shell a little bit? Why don't you know, what's the next step? Turning 34 is wild. You know, like I said, I can trace back all the mistakes that I kind of put all of my timeline since my daughter was born. You know, what I tried to do, what didn't work, what did work, and where I went wrong, right? Whereas, like, again, if you're a father, you have time to master, like, one thing. Don't try and go in too many directions. Don't miss it. One thing. One thing with her that I was really glad I did is she's actually at her dance class right now. And I told her, I was like, listen, you know, you do not want to do 6 activities a night a week. I did that and left me very confused. You know, when I found trading, it was like a new love. But then there was so many hurdles of like, oh, I can't do this. And then extreme wealth happened. And then I let go of the vision and my patience. Because you gotta have patience with your journey. Because here's the thing. So say that, you know, you're trying to become a master. The possibility of shutting everybody out all the time is probably not possible. You just kind of have to like alleviate it and work with it a little bit. You know? So that's where I left off. That's where I want to leave off here. I'll be surprised if anyone watches these videos into the next year, but I'm gonna keep posting them from my horrible little GoPro camera, and you know, maybe I can do this so people can see where the journey comes from, right? All right, so this is our account. This is what we're able to do today. Okay, it was like just over 500 to 543, right? This is the beginning of my mastery phase right now. 34 years old. I'm gonna come back when I'm 44, right? And this right here, this is gonna have a bunch of zeros after it. It's gonna get out of hand. Fucks. How beautiful that thing is. It's like an omen right now. It's an omen, man. It's so beautiful. That's exactly how you have to be right there, folks. Right there. That's what you want. See what I mean? Let's get it, man. This is my channel. I'm gonna keep posting. All right, that's enough for today, guys. Subscribe. Let's get my channel going. This is like the rise of a hero type stuff. You know what I mean? Biosphere Hero. Subscribe, Elliot Clark.